interesting. I was just looking up Castillo and Kirby and against Detroit this year, and all of the games that those two guys pitched in, which there was 3 of them, we won. But you look at Kirby went 5 innings. I don't remember the date of this one, but I think it was the 12th, I think, of July or something like that. But anyway, 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks.
Yeah,
and
not awesome.
6 strikeouts. So that wasn't good. They end up winning the game. But then, if you look at Castillo, April 2nd, they won the game 3-2, but 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. So solid performance, getting the quality start there. But then the other one, which they did win 12-3, only 5 innings, but 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 0 home runs, and then 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. So, but I just think Castillo is a different pitcher right now, the way that he's rolling. So love it.
Yeah, I'm
excited to see him more than Kirby, I think.
Well, I think we knew Castillo would be one of the two. Based on his track record at home, he's just a different pitcher on the road versus at home.
Yeah.
And that's just, you can look at his numbers and see it for yourself. I am surprised that Kirby's getting the nod in game 1. Like I said, I thought it would be Logan and Luis. What order it would be, I didn't know, but I thought it would be those two. So I'll be curious to hear if they elaborate on what went into the decision. Curious to see what fans think. Do you like that? Do you like Kirby going in game 1, Castillo game 2, presumably Logan game 3? Because I don't know if Woo's going to be ready or not. That's a separate topic out of that, but it's kind of interesting that's the move they went with, and they've got all the info. So I'm obviously going to defer to them. They know who's feeling what way and who's dealing with what. So. There's certainly rationale for Kirby going in game 1. You suspect Castillo is going to face off against Skubal in game 2, even though the Tigers have yet to announce their rotation. So, yeah, it's going to be. It starts tomorrow, man. I mean, if they're going with Kirby, I'm in. I'm surprised, but I'm in.
What's interesting is both the appearances that Castillo had against Detroit was against Skubal.
Yeah, they beat him both times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, he's become kind of the big bad wolf, right?
Well, for good reason. He's arguably the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
So,
but, I mean, yeah, that's all we talk about. And
yeah.
So, I say he's just one man.
Yeah. And if he's going to start in game 2, he's not going to pitch twice in this series.
Right.
Should it go 5. So, but the other part of the equation is Bryan Woo, and I think, look, we all knew he wasn't going to be in game 1 or 2. That was made pretty clear. He spoke yesterday. We watched him out there on the hill facing. He just pitched against 2 batters who were not swinging. They were just a righty and a lefty. He was just working on it and looked good. Again from the booth. Looked like the velocity was there. I don't know how hard he was throwing. No radar gun, but he talked about how he felt after the bullpen yesterday and why he's not quite a full go yet.
Positive day. I mean, still not where I want to be in terms of game speed of everything, but in terms of how everything's progressed, happy with it. Considering a week ago I wasn't even throwing yet, and then a week from now, hopefully, we'll be in a better spot. So still just taking it day by day, but in terms of looking at it that way, it's a lot of positives.
A week from now, so that doesn't lead you to believe he's set to jump right back in.
Yeah.
When he says that. Now, I don't know if he's planning on, hey, I'm going to start game 3, game 4. Maybe I'm not 100%, but I'm going to be good enough to go, and I'll feel better. I don't know. I don't know what that means. You could read a lot into that, but when he says, a week from now, you're going, oh, so is that the plan? Are you game 5 if it goes that far, or maybe if they lock it up, you're game 1 in the ALCS?
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't sound overly concerned. That's the thing about Bryan Woo, and he's just about as intense as you can get. But he doesn't. I don't know. I just don't hear any urgency or disappointment in his voice. So, hopefully he'll be ready sooner than later.
Well, yeah. I mean, they need him. Is my thing. He can sound comfortable, but I'm uncomfortable with his potential unavailability. I wanted this guy to be available, so I'm glad he's feeling calm or sounding calm. But I wish we had a better idea of when he was going to be back. we'll see, I guess, how he progresses. He talked about the process right now is just about getting back to full strength.
Definitely cleared some hurdles, I think. With an injury like that, like it doesn't just disappear. Like it's still managing, still doing treatment and stuff every day to kind of flush that stuff out, and then still working on building the workload, and there's a bunch of different fronts to it, but I'd say everything's been progressing, and that's all I can really ask for.
So headed in the right direction. I guess my question for fans out there would be, do you think this team can beat the Tigers without Bryan Woo? Because it feels like that's a potential, that he may not be ready, if we're going to parse what he's saying there. Can they take, I mean, obviously you need 3 wins. We'll see what happens in game. The trickiest of which you would assume is Skubal in game 2. I'm assuming that's where they'll throw him. If you're able to beat him for a 3rd time, if you take these 2, I mean, beyond massive. I mean, obviously all of the pressure is on the Tigers at that point, not to get taken out at home.
Right.
And the Mariners come in feeling good about it, obviously. But, yeah, can this team beat the Tigers, win this series without Bryan Woo? Potentially. 866-979-3776. You guys can weigh in on that. And hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully he's going to be available. But just hearing him say that about, we'll see in a week, it makes me feel like, okay, this could be longer than maybe we were given credit for.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it doesn't sound like it, but I mean, he's a super intense guy, and maybe he's just trying to throw people off the scent or whatever. But, and then here's what's different, I think, about like last time we were in the playoffs. I mean, you were so dependent on your rotation. And, we asked the question yesterday, what do you think is more valuable, the lineup or the rotation? And the lineup is vastly better than it was last time. You were talking about Mitch Haniger
Mm-hmm.
and, if he can have his best game. Now all we're asking is just be who you were during this entire season. That's all we need offensively. So that's where, I think you feel a little bit better. But, I mean, they were entirely dependent on their rotation last time we were in the playoffs. It was much bigger, and now you've got some offense to back them up. So
yeah, you had one guy who hit well in the playoffs in 22, and that was Gino.
Yeah,
hit
Gino
350, and then Mitch Haniger was the next best at like 238.
Right,
like literally everybody else did little to nothing in those games. So it wasn't a good offense. We knew that back then. This is a decidedly better offense. You're still going up against the elite of every team. You're going up against their best they've got to offer in the way of starters, in the way of bullpen. So you go in knowing, all right, runs are going to be at a premium. It's the likelihood of a blowout or, lopsided score is certainly possible. We saw it in the Dodgers series with the Reds, but it's not likely. We'll see what happens. But they're much better equipped, to say the very least, right now, especially with the questions of the rotation. Like maybe this offense is going to have to carry some of the load if they, if Woo's not available in this series, and we'll see how these guys do. I've got a ton of faith in everybody else in this rotation, but he's your ace.
Yeah.
So that's potentially a big loss there. We'll see what it means.